If you thought ability stones, accessories, gems, virtue potions were the ultimate endgame min-maxing activity, then you're in for quite the ride. What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Crypt13 and today we're gonna be talking cards. Cards might seem pretty overwhelming at the start because there's just so many of them. So I'm going to try and simplify cards a little bit in this video because honestly, cards individually, they don't really do much. And so we can simplify this by instead just looking at sets that a group of cards belong to. So as of right now, there are 31 different card sets in the game, at least when we're just taking a look at this first tab. We're gonna go through every tab in a little bit here. Each card set is going to give you a different set bonus depending on how many of them you equip into your card deck, which your card deck is right here in the middle, and then you'll notice the set bonus here all the way on the right side. So right, it really doesn't matter what card we equip from a certain card set. As long as we meet the set effect conditions, we will get the effect of that card set. So for this first one, in Desert of Sky, we don't need to look at the cards here. We don't really care about it, to be honest, at least not at this most simplest level. So in order to get an earth damage reduction of 8%, we'd have to equip 2 of the cards from this card set, and they also have to be unique cards as well. You cannot do multiples of the same cards. So here you notice that the 2 set is activated and now we get a earth damage reduction of 8%. And then if we go ahead and add another one, it stacks. We now have the 4 set, so now we have a 16% earth damage reduction. So that's cards at its really basic level. It's honestly pretty simple. Again, just don't really worry about cards individually and instead just look at cards based on their sets. And so let's take a closer look at what set effects are. So I'm going to take the Field Boss 2 set. By having a 2 set here, we get an extra 4% HP. Now if I had another Field Boss 2 card, I could go for a 4-piece set bonus. If I had a 4-piece set, we could get another 4% HP. If I had a full deck of field bosses, we could get an extra 4%, so a total of 12% HP. Then you'll notice something called Awakening, 18-piece Awakening and 30-piece Awakening for some extra crit rate and attack percent when not in a party or raid. But it's just another condition you have to meet in order to activate these set bonuses. And so at its simplest level, this is really what card sets and card decks do. By meeting the requirements for a set bonus, you'll get the corresponding set bonus effect. And don't forget that there are also multiple card decks, and you can spend some gold to increase the number of presets that you have. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next tab, the Books tab. These are very similar to the card sets that we just looked at, however, it's a little bit different. So just taking a look at these first two, you'll notice that there are some cards that are shared, like this Kaisra card. It's also part of this set, as well as Velcruz and Nazan, right here and right here. So what exactly are books then? So books will actually give you permanent stat upgrades. These are very similar to things like stat potions. So by meeting the requirements for a certain set, you will unlock some extra stats. And so if we take a look at just this first one, by collecting 10 cards in this set, we get an extra strength, dexterity, and intelligence of 8 points. And then by awakening up to level 20, 40, and 50, we get some extra bonus damage. Again, we'll talk about Awakening in a little bit here. This is pretty good, just completing card sets. A lot of this is going to stack up and it's going to make a pretty good difference. Because right, for reference, a single stat potion gives about 5 points. So Vitality or Dexterity, an extra 5 points. So, you know, if we start completing sets, it's really going to start stacking up. Right, if we continue looking through these, just collecting them and not awakening them gives us some pretty good stat increases. And again, these are all permanent stat increases. So once you complete a set, you're pretty good. And so this also means that when you come across cards, you should definitely just use them. And this also means that you should absolutely not delete any cards. Even if it's a useless white card, it can still be part of a set so that you can get some permanent stat upgrades. So this is the Books tab. By completing sets, you can get some permanent stat upgrades. That's really all it is. Now let's go ahead and move on to the Enhance tab. And before we get too much into this, if we scroll down a little bit more, you can see the expand catalog slots. And this is where you will increase your card capacity. So again, don't delete cards, just spend the blue crystals and expand your card list. So this way you can start making your way towards collecting complete sets for the books tab. Okay, so now let's get into enhancing cards. And this is where the awakening system comes into play. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and find one of my cards that I am looking to enhance, which is the Saria card, because this is part of a set that's really good. The Lost Wind Cliff set. Actually, let me just bring this up really quickly, because this Lost Wind Cliff set is a really good DPS set. The set effect details here is an extra 7% crit if we have a 6 set and a 12-piece awakening. So in order to unlock this set bonus effect, we need to have all 6 of these cards in our card deck, and then we need to awaken enough cards so that we have 12 awakening points. And so now let's start talking about what awakening points are. So right click to select the card, and you see these little gems underneath the card. This is its awakening level. So right now it is at awakening level 0. And so by getting points here, you start making your way towards hitting the requirement for those better set effects. That 12-piece awakening and that 30-piece awakening. And so right now, my Saria card is at awakening level 0. And in order to activate the set bonus, we need to get a 12-piece awakening. So that means 2 cards need to be maxed, or any combination of awakening points needs to total up to 12. And then for the 31, that means every single card in this set needs to be fully awakened. So that's gonna take a lot of work. And so in order to awaken a card, you need to give it card XP. Card XP is seen up here at the top, and you can get more card XP by simply using the items that give card XP, which are these: the Eternity Essence, the Creation Fragments. There's also a green, which I believe is called a Soul Leaf, and there's also a gold version. So when you come across these, just use them. There's no reason to keep these. And the only reason I'm keeping this is because I wanted to show you guys it in action. So I went ahead and used it, and take a look at my card XP. It is slowly going up. So definitely just use all of these when you get them. Alright, so now let's go ahead and level up my Saria card. This is going to take some of that XP as well as cost some silver. And now you'll notice that we can now awaken the card. In order to actually awaken the card, it requires more cards. It requires dupe cards. So right now I have 3 extra Sarias, so I'll go ahead and awaken this, and it's going to cost silver, and it's also going to take an extra one of my duplicate cards. You notice that it went down 1. And so basically, this is your process in order to fully awaken a card. So you need a lot of duplicates. I'm gonna go ahead and do the next level. So silver and more XP. It takes 14,000 XP, so it's a lot. Okay, and now for the next level, it costs 2 cards. And so this is just going to increase the higher and higher you're trying to awaken your card. And in order to reach maximum level 5 awakening, you need 15 duplicate cards total in order to hit it. So in total, it's 16 because you need the base card and then 15 extra. And so some of the best set effects are locked behind awakening cards. So you can see that cards are going to take quite a while to get. Lost Winds, again, is one of the good DPS ones because of that extra crit rate. And getting Saria comes from Wandering Merchants in Lutera. I'll definitely go into a little bit more detail about how to find those Wandering Merchants, because they have random spawn chances in different locations. However, they do spawn at a predictable schedule. And so let's just go through some pretty decent early card sets. The Field Boss 2 card set is pretty good because 4% max HP is going to make those squishy classes a little bit less squishy. So definitely try to get a Field Boss 2 set at least. Pretty good. If you get a 4 set, also pretty nice because it stacks. Going for something that's a little bit tanky, so elemental damage reduction or just less damage from boss monsters, little monsters, challenge monsters, depending on the content you're doing. So Master of Necromancies from boss monsters. Let's see if we can find anything else that's good. The We'll Meet Again set effect, damage minus 12% from foes at 50% or lower HP. This means that your own HP needs to be below 50%. So very specifically, Mayhem Berserkers are going to like this because they're just going to get more tanky. Nature's Elementals kind of has the same set effect, but just at a lower percentage, and also the requirements to meet this is a little bit different. This one comes in 2 set effects, so a 2, 4, and 6 set for a total of 24 if you fill out your entire card deck with this set effect. The cards here are purple rarity, so it might be a little bit harder to obtain these than the other one, because Madnik is the only purple, and then the other 2 are just blue cards. Another pretty good one is the 3 Umar families. This one is going to reduce the damage from Guardians during a Guardian raid, minus 7.5%, and then also fully awakened, it gives back attack damage, so classes that specialize in back attack. However, getting a full 15-piece awakening for this is going to be pretty expensive because Galatar is a legendary card, and there are other legendary cards that is a best in slot for, in general, most DPS classes. That one being the Light of Salvation. This one is just full of legendary cards and it needs to be fully awakened because this is the best in slot for most DPS classes, almost all DPS classes. So this one's pretty good, but Awakening Galater is kind of a toss-up. But at least just getting the 3 set gives you some tankiness. The Triarchy set also has the same effect, so 3 set gives you minus 7.5% damage from Guardians during Guardian raids. So this one's a pretty nice one to get if you happen to have all the cards. Most of these cards come from reports, so Kraus, you can get Kraus by reaching a certain report level with Sasha, and then Bastion is also another card that you can get by reaching report with him. Kraus also comes from a Wandering Merchant in Arthentine as well. Farewell Weapon is also another one that gives max HP, so again, you can snack this with the field boss. And so another pretty good early card set. 5% less damage from lesser and normal monsters, so a pretty good one for chaos dungeon runs. And that's pretty much all that I can see for now that's really easy to get. Oh, and actually this one's another pretty quick one. The Forest of Giants 3 set, effectiveness of recovery items plus 15%. So yeah, this one's a pretty good, easy early one to grab as well. Looks like I'm just missing the Mocha Mocha card. And actually, you know, if you're missing a card, we can see how to get them. I'm actually going to look it up. Mocha Mocha. Let's see if it's easy to get. So from a Wandering Merchant or from collecting Mokoko seeds. So Wandering Merchant probably spawns somewhere on Tortwake for this guy. Okay, and now where can you get cards? So first off are Abyssal Dungeons. Every time you complete an Abyssal Dungeon, you have a chance to drop a legendary card. And so you'll notice that very high eye level people will still be running the tier 1 dungeons just because of the fact that a legendary card can drop from them. The tier 2 has an extra chance to drop an epic card as well, but it's still a source to get a potential legendary card drop. And so people will go as far as making as many characters as they can and having every character run through every single Abyssal dungeon just to increase the number of chances they can get for a legendary card drop. The next place to get cards is through achievements. There are various achievements that just reward cards as their completion bonus. So if I look up Kraus, I see that achievement complete, so scandalous. So this achievement is actually reaching a certain report with Sasha. The next one is Adventure Islands. Each Adventure Island per day is going to give a different set of rewards, and usually one of them will give a random card pack and some card EXP. So usually this is the island that most people will go for because cards is such a huge time investment and they want to spend as much of their time as possible getting as many of the cards as they can. The next place that you can get it is from Marie's shop, and currently right now they are pretty expensive, so it is your prerogative whether or not you want to spend your blue crystals for cards. But just know that this is an option to get more cards. And just like achievements, by doing reports with certain characters, they will give you their respective cards. And then, as I alluded to earlier, traveling merchants will also sell cards, although their wares are usually going to be different when they appear. Saria is a really good one to try and farm so that you can get that full awakening. And then also Mac in Annika is going to sell the Way card, although he does not always have that in stock. And then of course doing story quests will reward you with cards sometimes. And the one of note is the Soulless card, because by doing the Esoteric questline, you can grab him and he's part of the Lost Wind Cliff set. So some people will start up a new character and play through the beginning of the game just to get the Soulless card for their roster. This is probably about a 4-hour commitment each time you do it, and you're gonna need 15 dupes of this guy. But this is one way to guarantee a Soulless card. And then lastly, you can purchase cards from islands. Technically boats. Peto, and then also Fermata. The cards will restock weekly, and they sell 7 card packs each time. In order to find them, just look for this icon. This is gonna cost you some pirate coins. And last thing I want to say is that when you come across card packs, you should definitely just use them unless they are a selection card pack, especially the legendary selection card packs, because this is going to allow you to target the specific card set you want to awaken. Most people's absolute end goal is going to be for the Light of Salvation full awakening set effect bonus. This is also the best in slot card set effect in Korea, and it has been for a pretty long time. So using your selection card packs to target the card that you're missing in order to complete this set is going to be one of your incredibly long-term goals for cards. But any other card pack that you have, even if it's a legendary card pack like this, where it's just random, you can just use them because you can't control what card you're gonna get anyway. So this is pretty much everything that you need to know when it comes to the systems and mechanics of cards in Lost Ark. This should serve as a pretty good introduction on where you should start your card collecting journey and give you the foundation to figure out which card sets you want to go for. And so now that we understand exactly how the card system works in Lost Ark, we still might be wondering what exactly we should be going for. And so in a future video, I will definitely be going over the best in slot card set effects and which card set effects you should be working your way toward. I kind of alluded to them in the video already, but we can definitely go into a lot more detail on why they're good and the best way. However, if there is anything that I missed, definitely drop a comment down below. That's definitely going to help out anyone else who comes across this video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Consider dropping a like if this video helped you out. Consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, I will see you guys later.